Alright, boys and girls, so last time we had the transmission out, got everything to put ready back in, and realized it's missing the input shaft for the pump, which means it won't work. So, looked high and low. Well, first off, I tried the one out of the 003, which does not fit the later Vanagons, by the way. It's over an inch longer. So I looked around on the internet, hoping I could find something to replace it with. Sit over here. Hoping I could find something replacement or a used one, and found one guy on the internet. Well, two guys actually. One guy on the internet said he had one brand new in his ad. Looked at his feedback, and everybody said it's like incredibly difficult to get a hold of the guy. I guess he's like semi-retired. So I was like, well, I don't want to deal with that, you know. So looked around again, and there's a gentleman selling a rebuilt transmission. And I was like, let me look at his ad just for a second. Maybe I'll contact him since he's a transmission rebuilder. Maybe, you know, he'll have something laying around in stock. And I looked in the ad again, and noticed that the ad had, sorry, you're probably shaking. The ad had a listing also inside the other ad for the transmission, which is kind of always hard to find out. But he had the shafts. So for 125 bucks plus shipping, so it was $145, I got a new shaft. So we're going to see today if it'll fit, which means I have to pull this thing off. And I'm going to do it by myself today. So we're going to see what calamity that leads us into. So, how about I get to work, and we'll get started on this. Alright, that came off there a lot easier than I thought it was, but there's only one bolt holding it on and the two clamps on the side here. So if you haven't seen these before, these are working out pretty well. They slide up in the tube, and then you weld around it, and they finger together. And then one bolt from each side holds it up. They make some with two bolts on one side, two bolts on the other side. But they're working well. I was a little concerned that they would be like two interference fit and not let go, but they're doing well with that actually. One thing to make sure, if you're trying to make it where you can pull an engine cage or something like that off like this, you need to make sure they're facing the same way so you can pull it out. The worst thing you could do is have one backwards and then it has to like cock or something. So anyways, good investment on those. So let's go get that shaft and put it in. Alright, moment of truth. Do we think it will fit? Let's see. I don't know, boys and girls. We'll fit in there. I know that's not right. And I know that... Ooh, I won't want to come out. Okay, technical difficulties. Let me see how I can figure this out here. Alright, so I got it in. It took a little persuasion with the rubber mallet, and I had to sand down the OD just a little. So now we're going to try and put the torque converter in. I'm going to need both my hands for that so I won't be filming. Wish me luck. Alright, converter's in. I have discrepancies with what the manual tells me and what reality is. The manual says from this flat surface here, if you're on a straight edge across, that nub there should be in 10 millimeters. Problem is, I'm getting about 4 millimeters on measurement. And if I were to push the converter back anymore, if possible, the ring gear would actually hit the casting. So, and I did measurements, there's about 1 millimeter of clearance between the ring gear and the casting there. So, I don't know. I tried my other converter from the 003 and this one, and they both come up the same. So I'm kind of putting that in the impossibility must be a typo. Now, what I could see is between the mounting bolts in there, maybe 10 millimeters minimum, and there's over 12 millimeters on both of those, all three of those. So we're gonna lift this thing up, slide it on there, monkey some of the bolts in, and get going. It's back on. So, not really hard, just aggravating. The new input shaft was a little bigger in diameter, and I had to file it down a couple of times to get it to slide in. It was a shorter length, so I figured it would have slid in better, but just the diameter was a little off. So nothing that a little flat file couldn't solve. And then trying to figure out that torque converter, because before I didn't have the specs, but the book, let's see if it shows it here, shows a measurement right there, but there's no way. If I got that 10 millimeters there, then the ring gear would be hitting the transmission case. So I'm thinking they meant that A is for up there. That's what I'm taking it as. And we're going to see, I guess, if it leaks or whatever, it's my bad. But I tried about 15 times getting that converter. I tried this converter. I tried it without the shafts in there, and it still came out to the same measurement every single time. So I'm thinking they have a typo. Anyways, we'll find out. So the next thing I need to do is I gotta go over there and cut a little relief from my shifter cable. It's almost perfect. I need to paint the bottom of the chassis, and then I will be done for the day, I think. So get out there, get your projects worked on, let's get these things going, and I'll see you guys later.